Okay, so hopefully this is going to be a video of some interest to one or two of you. So I think my first thought when I heard about the catalyst and the fact that it has this effects loop return in, which you can put to power amp in mode. So effectively this is then acting like a power amp with a speaker in a traditional open back cabinet. The idea for me was thinking, well, yes, it's got this amp stuff built in, which I'm also quite a big fan of, but if I can use this, just plug an HX Stomp Helix Fractal FM3 into it, and it can do essentially the job of what I use the Powercab for, then that would be a good thing. So just to explain how I use the Powercab, I use it in LF raw mode, the reason being that I thought that sounded the most natural at higher volumes. So LF raw mode means that you've turned the tweeter off and you're just using the actual speaker in it with no processing. So essentially in that case it's like a 250 watt solid state. That's the way that's kind of working into a speaker. Now obviously this is a closed back design, this is an open back design, so there should be some differences, but I wanted to see in the room, and I've got a microphone there pointing, so hopefully with a blend of that and the camera audio we'll be able to get a sense for how they sound. I've already got some idea just from messing around with it quickly, but I've set up the HX Stomp. We'll just chat through it a little bit and just see what we can make conclusion wise, because I think it's something people might want to know about. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want. So don't necessarily think about this as being a super definitive scientific test. I am just an individual who plays guitar, not exactly particularly good at any of this. So, but I've put a microphone here, which seems to be roughly sort of a similar distance and angle to these, and you're hearing some camera audio as well. Difficult to get a sense because it seems to me that the Powercab is sending a more focused, so although in the room when I'm sitting with it, it sounds to be a similar volume. If anything, the Catalyst seems to be slightly louder in the room. The Catalyst is sending, I guess, sound all around the room because it's an open back cab, so when it's seeming louder in the room than the Powercab, what's actually translating to the mic seems to be that the Powercab generally sounds a bit louder. So there are some caveats to this and how scientific it is, but hopefully you can get some sense for how these things are actually sounding. So if it sounds like there's a drop in volume with the Catalyst, I think that's what's going on, is that the audio is getting spread around the entire room. So although it seems like it's the same volume when I'm recording with it, it may be that actually the Powercab is sending a more focused beam straight to the microphone or something like that. I don't know, let me know in the comments if that's science. Okay, so the preset I'm using is sort of a Dumble-ish inspired lead tone maybe. So here's the Powercab. Catalyst. Some of the delay and some of the reverb, do some kind of chord stuff. So here's the Catalyst. one of the key differences, if you are interested in this, with the Powercab, we can do more than just this. So you will be aware that you can load in or use the speaker modes in here and load in IRs. So here's the vintage. Green. Cream. Jarvis. Bayou. So, you know, you could get a range of tones. So this is on the cream back, so if we switch now between them. So the reason, though, that I think I prefer the LF Raw is because to my ear it just sounds a little bit more natural, which, you know, maybe that's just my ears, maybe it's just a preference, but that's how I use it. So this is Raw again. Catalyst. So what if we tried some sort of heavier tone? So I'll just dial in something, I say dial in, I'll just pull up quickly like a PV 5150 with stock settings. This sounds like this on the Powercab. Try something Voxy. So I'll bring up like the Matchless Channel 2 or something like that. I think the biggest differences will be heard with gain. That's why I'm sort of favouring the higher gain stuff, because you hear different resonances and stuff. So Catalyst. Powercab. Catalyst. What else could we try? Train wreck. So if I take this drive here up to about 5, Catalyst here, Powercab, Catalyst. Catalyst slightly. I think the Powercab maybe is. So, let me know your thoughts. I'll just try some clean tones now. So this is the Fawn Catalyst. Powercab. So here's the Catalyst. Powercab. Catalyst. Powercab. Catalyst. Powercab. Catalyst. So hopefully that's given you some idea of how they sound sort of in the room, doing the same job at the same kind of volume. Obviously you know that Catalyst can do the amp thing. You also know that the Powercab can do cab impulse type things, you know, speaker models. Whether you like the way those sound or not, I guess it's up to you. If anything, I think they're a little bit darker than the raw speaker. My instinct is that the Powercab is a little bit darker in general than the Catalyst, and I think there's also a little bit more of the low end stuff, and also a sort of resonance in some part of the mids to highs. The Catalyst to me seems like it's got a little bit less of the low end, but the sound to me is a little bit more open, you know, a little bit less closed off, a little less dark. Possibly that's got a massive amount to do with the actual speaker enclosure. I don't know how that will come across in video. Let me know what you thought, and let me know again if that lets you know which you prefer from that video. I think in the room, yeah, what I'm hearing is that this is a little bit darker and a bit more closed off sounding. I feel like this potentially is sounding a little bit more natural. I'm not totally sure, but let me know what you hear. And this has a 250 watt, whatchamacallit, power amp, but you do have to feed it a lot of audio, as in very boosted audio, to get much volume out of the Powercab. Comparatively, you don't really have to do too much to get plenty of volume out of the catalyst, which I guess is a good thing. Also, there's a 200 watt catalyst, which is 2x12. Presumably that would sound even bigger than this, even more bass, and I think that would still be way cheaper than the Powercab, so price is there to be kind of factored in as well. This does have a USB out and MIDI in and stuff, you know, so you could use this as an interface even, as long as you have a preamp. You can use the catalyst as an interface, of course, and you don't need a preamp because it is a full guitar amplifier. So I think those are the key differences. Weight wise, you know, similar weights, similar dimensions, and yeah, construction wise as well. I feel like they're both not super robust. They both can mark up quite easily. You know, I've not used either of these an awful amount, but they do tend to show their nicks and bumps. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Powercab Catalyst. Let me know yours in the comments. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in another video soon. Cheers.